If you were starting a new business today, what have you learned that you could pass on to our customers on this site watching this today?
I once worked for a very large company in the middle of London, and the managing director, well, he was probably on the Sunday Times rich list, really, let's put it that way. And he basically said something to me one day which I thought was very wise. He said, Tom, there's sales, and then the rest of it is just administration. He said, you're an accountant and you're working here, and I was the CEO of one of their divisions at the time. He said, if we don't sell anything, you haven't got anything to account for. The key thing that you have to do in your business is to ensure that the sales come in. As long as the sales come in, you will eventually get paid for it. You will then have some money to pay your suppliers, and as long as you can keep the sales working round in the circle, obviously you have to make a profit on the sale. You can make a small profit, you might only make £1 profit. If you're selling a cup, you buy it for £1, you sell it for £2, you make £1 profit. If you sell 1 million cups, you've made £1 million. Or you might sell a Rolex watch. You might buy the Rolex watch for £1,000 and sell it for 10. You've made £9,000 on the sale. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you sell enough, and you sell a lot of cups or you sell a few Rolex watches. What you don't want to do really is to buy a cup for £2 and sell it for £1 and lose £1. You have to get your costings right on some of the things like that. That's quite important. So yes, sales is key, but you've got to make sure the sales actually generate a profit. Once you've got the profit coming in, that'll roll around nicely, and then you just have to keep your eye on your initial. Remember, we said we would originally set up an initial plan. We know what all the sales are going to be. We know what all the costs are going to be. What we do is, as time goes on each month, the accounting system that we'll put in place will tell you what your sales are, it'll tell you what your costs are. You then compare your sales and your costs with what you thought originally would happen in your plan. And then, by looking at the differences between what you thought would happen and what has actually happened, that will help you run your business. So you can look and say, well, sales are down a little. So you need to have a little bit more emphasis on perhaps the advertising or the marketing to generate sales a little higher. You may look and say, oh, the rent has gone up 10%. Why is that? It may be you had to take on an extra small warehouse unit to store the extra stock that you needed. But you have to have a reason. You need to know a reason why your actual costs didn't hit your original plan. And that's the part that will help you run your business. It's basically, you're the captain of the ship, and the accounts are the charts that are helping you guide your ship. The sails are really the engines driving your ship forward. But without the navigator, the accountant, looking at where do we plan to go, where are we actually going, be careful you don't hit that iceberg.